Okay, today I'm interviewing Mr. Michelson, my AP Human Geography teacher, on the subject of the Syrian refugee crisis. On a scale of 1 to 10, how educated do you think you are on the subject of the Syrian refugee crisis?
Probably like an 8.
Okay. Can you briefly summarize your understanding on the issue?
The Syrian refugee crisis is caused by a country that does not have stability, and so people have fled the country either to flee the rule of the dictator, Assad, or rebel groups who have tried to overthrow him, like ISIS or New Western Front or other groups. And so for the safety of their lives, that's the cause of why they're leaving the country.
What do you think it would be like to be a Syrian refugee?
It would be terrible. You wouldn't really have the ability to know where you're gonna live. I mean, at this point, you're gonna live in a UN camp in Turkey. But in terms of a job and education, all those things, all up in the air.
Do you know any of the current places where the Syrian refugees are migrating to?
Yes.
Can you name a few of them?
In terms of countries or like specific regions?
Countries.
Okay, so in Europe, the largest country they went to was Germany. Also Sweden, it's pretty high. Italy, Greece. But most refugees are right now in Turkey because of a deal that was made with the EU and Turkey. So from this point on, basically all the refugees are being funneled to Turkey.
What is your current stance on the United Nations refugee camps that are set up for the refugees?
My current stance, like what do I think about them, or? I think they're good. I'm glad we have camps there, but they're obviously not the solution. So I think the problem right now is people think we have UN refugee camps and we don't really need to help. And so in some ways it's delayed our international response to solve the problem. Because people in America think that they're getting fed and they have a place to sleep, so we don't really need to address the issue.
And have you ever thought of any way to resolve the Syrian refugee crisis? If so, what would you do?
The way to solve it is you have to deal with the leadership of Syria. So it all rests upon Assad, and as of right now, there is no plan if Assad is removed from power of who would be in charge. So that needs to happen like right now. They should be meeting right now about who's gonna, if Assad is removed, who would come to power in that scenario.
Okay. Thank you for your time. Thank you. It's always good to know about what's going on in your world. For example, the Syrian refugee crisis. Refugees could be seeking safety in your own country, so you should know what's going on with the current world issues. To learn more about the Syrian refugee crisis, please visit www.un.org. Thank you so much for listening today to my podcast. I hope I've enlightened you on the Syrian refugee crisis issue. It's a big world issue that impacts everyone, and everyone should know what's going on.